and we will talk about how to do business in Canada. And the members of the team is Eric, Mario, and Antonio that is not here, and myself, Sandra Ceres. Okay, we'll start talking about the common forms of greetings. And in Canada, they are very polite. When you do business, they expect you to shake hands really firmly and to make eye contact with them. And then, older men in Quebec, offer their hands to women. So it's not like that typical because it's only Quebec. And if you're a foreign, you cannot kiss a woman's hand because it's inappropriate. Only the Quebec's older man can. Then, kissing on the cheeks. In Quebec, it's appropriate because they have the French culture and they usually do that. And the kissing in the hand, as I just told you, it's only between Canadian men, older men.
About type of address, it's appropriate to use last name and appropriate titles like doctors. You're talking to a person who I don't know, it's a marine or it's who has a title. It's appropriate to say the title and the name. The first name in private and last name in public is like a similar status. When you want to be respectful, you call someone by their last name. Formal June, academic titles and degrees, a bachelor or as I say, a master or doctor, something like that. About gestures and nonverbal communication, in Canada, it's not appropriate to wink, for example, a man to a woman, and not in a business environment because they have a very strictful sexual harassment policy. So you have to be very careful with that. If you are playing, maybe they don't going to see that gesture as a game. So you should be more respectful. It's not appropriate to touch people when you are talking or hugging, or I don't know. You have to respect their personal space. They are a little bit cold, but they are very polite. So when you are talking with your guests, you can shake hands, but no. Maybe here in Mexico we touch a lot when we talk. We have to understand that we have to be very polite when we talk to Canadians. So no hugs. About gift-giving practice, it's not usual to bring gifts in a social meeting or in a business meeting. It is appropriate to maybe, if you are invited to a dinner, bring some wine, flour, chocolate, or they also like barbecues, and you can bring your beer. This will be acceptable. But I mean that we are like the same in this matter here in Mexico. It's not very usual to give someone something when you are in a meeting, in a formal meeting. About business entertainment, well, they love beer, so it's a good idea to go to a pub When you go to a pub with a Canadian, you have to keep in mind that maybe you should pay for a round of drinks, and if you refuse your turn to pay for a round of drinks for everybody, maybe they're gonna see you bad. So also they like barbecues, so it's a good place to talk about business. Maybe you feel like home, they feel comfortable, so it's a good place to make friends also, because Canadians love alcohol and meat.
Well, the appropriate dress. When doing business in Canada, in the largest cities, it's important that you take into consideration the following points that I'm about to explain. Well, for women, it's appropriate to use conservative business suit or dress in these colors: navy, gray, ivory, and white. For men, it's appropriate to wear black conservative business suit with tie, with the colors navy, gray, and shirts in white and light blue. Well, it is also important that you dress in a very classical way, also for men and women. And for men, to wear classical leather shoes. Well, another factor to take into consideration is the weather conditions, in order to know what is the appropriate clothes that you can wear. Then, if it is cold, you can wear long coats in the colors I mentioned before, and also in color camel. And well, however, if you are about to do business in small cities or in more rural areas, the dress code is more relaxed, so you can dress more casual. Well, the role of women. Well, women in business, it's a growing way. Yeah, and the women's role in business has grown a lot. The number of women's own business has doubled over the last 15 years. Well, one of the reasons is of Canada's commitment to gender equality, and well, Canada signed and ratified a pact that eliminate all the types of forms of the discrimination to women. Then, the Women Executive Network, they do like every year, like the 100 is the most powerful women in Canada, and this year one Faden Alshusli. Then, women role in boards. Well, even though women's role in business is growing, there are still some of them that are still underrepresented on boards. And well, according to a recent survey of Canadian executives, 60% of them don't have any women on board. 7% of them have only 2 or more. And well, an average of 9% of business are held by women.
There are many topics of conversation with Canadian people when you are in a meeting. But the first question that you have to answer will be your name, because that's how they present themselves, and then they like to know what do you do for a living. That make them more comfortable, and what kind of education you have, and where did you study. when you present yourself, you can talk about something else that make more comfortable the talking. And one of the appropriate conversation that you can have with them is the weather. Maybe in all the cultures, it's a good starting because there's not a bad thing with the word, or you can have a discussion about that. And they like to know about different places because they like to travel. And be careful with the humor because they are some of them, they are political correctness, which is very strong in many social circles. The cultural values of Canadian people are freedom, equality, peace, law and order, respect for other cultural values, because all of them make Canadian a peaceful nation that like to treat others as they would like to be treated.
In conclusion, Canadian is a very good place for do business. They are very polite people, very open-minded and friendly. Their traditions are as a country with French and English influence. It's very beautiful. So I think we are not that different. So it's okay to do business with them.
Yeah, and I think that it's more easy because in Mexico, there are many like institutions and the government it's less efficient, and here in Canada it's more easy to do business with them. They are more polite than Americans and they are very conservative, and you need to keep in mind the things that you can't do and the things you must do. So it's a really interesting country. There's many beautiful places to visit also. If you go to do business, also you can take off a few days to enjoy the beautiful views the country has.